Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and this is today's collective reading. Okay. Okay, so it feels like we're in kind of a tough place. It feels like we are having to let go in one way or another of the way something used to be. Maybe the way it used to feel, maybe the beauty of a relationship where there was kindness and there was sharing. It just feels like there may have had to be kind of a painful letting go of something really dear to us in our lives. So I'm getting that, and I'm just getting the words the way things used to be. That's what's coming to me. So we have 10 of Swords. Now this is such a graphic looking card. It's swords, which are air. Air pertains to the mind, all the workings of the mind. And yet it's also such a visceral image. And in numerology, 10s speak to endings. And so it's kind of similar to the Tower energy where everything is being shaken up, and it feels like in that same way that we thought something was so secure or so stable, good or bad, and it's being shaken up. It's being, here it's being stabbed to death. And it's shifted, it's changed, it's ended. Here it relates to thought patterns and the way we approach situations with our thoughts. It says something has had to die off. So it's reversed here. And I feel like we're going through it. We're coming through some painful stuff. And I know it's been a year and a half of painful stuff. It's kind of nothing new. This can speak to big, broad things that all of us are going through collectively, and also deeply personal things, which is primarily what I'm getting. It's next to a very sweet, very relational energy. Here you have 6 of Cups. Cups are water, and water pertains to emotion and intuition and psychic awareness. And so I'm getting that feeling that we're going through a lot of pain, and we're having to confront the way we've approached things. Whatever this situation is, whatever the sweetness of what we had here is. This energy also just speaks to past tense. So sometimes that relates very directly to childhood, you know? And this is just what's coming to me too. This could also pertain to childhood friends, childhood relationships, or just something that just made us feel really tender, really sweet, really good. Be it a relationship to another person, or even another thing, another group, it could really be any one thing. And I recognize it's going to be different for each and every one of us. But there is just this feeling of having to let go in one way or another of something that we have held very dear. I'm also just picking up on a situation in which it's felt maybe as if those around us have tried to take away our power in some way or make us feel small. I'm getting that through 3 different cards, and it is a little bit similar to the last reading, which is a little while ago. My apologies for that. It feels like a bit of an unfolding of events. So we have this really big, bold energy in King of Rods. Rods are fire, and fire often speaks to confidence and personal power, and kings speak to that anyway because they're powerful rulers, right? So you have this really solid, powerful energy. Next to Seven of Swords. And this is a sneaky energy. This has come up for us before. And again, it's swords, which are air, so it relates to the mind. And yeah, this time around, and interesting the way, it speaks to the specificity of this particular reading, this particular moment. This time around, it feels like mind games. And so for those of us who are maybe around people that we don't get the best feeling from, or people who are just on a different wavelength, who we aren't gelling with, maybe what I want to say is, let's have that be okay. That we don't necessarily resonate with that person or those people because maybe they have some of their own agendas, and to remember that we are powerful because that's just in our nature to really shine brightly, embrace our uniqueness, embrace our individuality, embrace all of the things that make us special as individuals. And remember that when maybe a conversation doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good, doesn't leave us feeling good, it may also be that the people we're around, some of them, and I'm just saying some of them, maybe they don't have our best interests at heart. Maybe they're just not on the same page. And maybe they just don't know any other way but to see our brightness and kind of try to take it down a peg. I'm just getting that, which is kind of unusual for these particular readings. This doesn't often come up, but this energy is also just next to Empress, which is another really powerful archetypal female ruler energy, right? So here we have creativity, we have abundance, we have self-expression, we have, again, all of those beautiful things that make us who we are. And it's a Venus energy, which corresponds with Taurus, which is an earth sign. So there is that feeling of really grounded, really beautiful, really solid earth mother energy. And she is also on her head here. And I'm just getting that feeling once again that there may be people around us, and absolutely not all of them. It may be a very specific situation. This may not even speak to each and every one of you, but for those of us who are around people that make us feel small in some way or just try to take away from our brightness, recognize, because recognition is also empowerment. So recognize what's going on there and find a way to, if it's not about removing ourselves completely, maybe it's simply about seeing that for what it is and coming back to what makes us beautiful and bright and bold and special in who we are, because we each have a unique spark that makes us individually who we are. Each of us adds something really beautiful to our collective existence. And so to remember what we bring to the table, to remember just the beauty of our individuality and our individual presences, that is in and of itself really powerful and really important, really, really important. So that's what I'm seeing here. And I'm just going to pull, maybe just one or two cards will come out, give us a little extra information to cap off this reading. Yeah, okay, so I am getting more energy that speaks to looking back at our past, maybe looking at what we had with the people or the groups or whatever things we're in the process of letting go. So as we look back, it's going to be super important to nourish ourselves as best we can in this present moment. Because when we do that, we allow ourselves to come back even just a little bit more to here and now, which is so important. So I'm getting that here with Two of Rods. this is an energy that naturally looks back. And I didn't know this for the longest time, but this person is looking back in order to divine their future, which is a really interesting way of going about it, right? It's, to me, that's a little bit, well, it totally speaks to what we do as human beings. And also, it doesn't feel like really the best plan of action. So I feel like as we look back on what we had, it's gonna be extra important as this energy is next to Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is Earth energy, and Queen of Pentacles in particular, similar to the Empress energy, there's a feeling of mothering ourselves. There's a feeling of really making sure that we get enough to eat, that we're wearing the clothes that make us comfortable, that we're surrounded in beauty in one way or another. This is the energy that speaks to nourishing ourselves tangibly in ways that really ground us and help us come back to ourselves. I think that's what I'm getting, especially in this particular reading. So this energy is reversed, it's needed. So as we look back, and interesting too, that connection between these orbs, right? So as we feel that sense of, and I believe it's Chris at Minopon talked about the completion, that element of completion, you know, and that may be, as we reflect on the ending of something, that may be what I'm picking up on too. We have to come back to our inner world. We have to come back to what helps us survive, you know, internally through the external nourishing elements of Earth. So again, that could be a really wonderful simple meal that we cook for ourselves. That could be a cup of tea, that could be a nap, that could be taking time to meditate or garden or create in some way that's very hands-on. But with that beautiful earth energy, it's time to just really tap into that and remind ourselves that we are worth caring for. And that for me, that hits on a very personal level, because I remind myself the exact same thing every time I take a shower, you know, or meditate or create artwork. There's this feeling of coming back to self and reminding myself that I'm worth it, you know? It's also in the wonderful therapy videos that I've been watching, just that message, I'm worth it. So we are worth it. No matter what we're going through, no matter where we're at, no matter how low to the ground we might feel, we are worth it, and we're worth more, you know? It may even be that we're worth more than we're giving ourselves or able to give ourselves, and that's okay too. So to recap, we're in the process of letting go of things that we've held very dear and things from our past, you know, or just things that have been very sweet and very comforting, you know, in one way or another. The sweetness of a relationship, the sweetness of good connections, you know, with the people around us. Some of that we're just having to let go of, and also we're having to let go of how we've approached those things, those relationships. And it may be that there's certain people around us who don't have our best interests at heart, who kind of try to take us down a peg or two, or who try to diminish our light, our boldness, our beauty, because they aren't aware of any of that within themselves. And so there's a feeling of insecurity there. So to be mindful that it's important to come back to self, it's important to leave those people out of the equation, it's important to see their actions clearly, you know, so that's a piece of this as well. And it's super important to nourish ourselves, to come back to ourselves once again, to remind ourselves that we're worth it and care for ourselves. So I hope that you guys found this reading helpful. I hope that you resonated. If you enjoyed this reading, please hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. For those of you interested in supporting me and supporting this channel, please check out my Patreon. The link is down below. And I hope that you all have a satisfying day, a soothing day, a peaceful day, a healing day, whatever that means for you. And I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.